Come in, Tokyo. Tokyo, come in. We're picking up interference. We're picking up interference. We've got color interference. We've got microwave interference. We've got microwave interference. Come in, Tokyo. Do you read us? Come in. Yes, we're picking up. We're picking up. Come in, come in. We're losing you. Come back, Tokyo. Come back. California Productions presents The Toaster Microwave.
Section 1. Buttering the toaster. Keyboard and switcher orientation.
Yes, and all the effects you see will be taught in the tricks and tips section. So, let's batter the toaster.
If you would like to follow along in this section with hands-on application, please boot up the Amiga and engage the toaster icon. Feel free to stop the tape when needed.
This is the switcher screen, the main control panel for the toaster. It is considered one of 6 sections or slices that you can access depending on your application. The second section or slice is the toaster preference. This can be found on your Amiga monitor screen as a disc with a question mark on it. Please notice the Amiga mouse arrow for location identification. Here you will be able to change the background colors, create instant TV snow, and file projects to disk.
This is the Chroma FX slice. Notice the Amiga arrow. By pressing this button, you will be able to create special effects on still frames or live video.
This is the toaster paint slice. This slice allows you to alter still images, paint 16.8 million different colors, and even overlay graphics to your still images.
This is the Toaster Character Generator. Here you can create text pages to add to your video images.
This is the 3D slice. This section or slice allows you to animate, model, and render in the 3rd dimension.
These 3 rows contain the individual buttons for all 7 video sources. The first row is the overlay. The second row is the program, and the third row is the preview.
This button with the scissors is the luminance keyer. With this powerful feature, you can overlay one video image over another by cutting out the black or white out of the picture. Notice by clicking on the scissors. Black appears. This is the black luminance keyer. Click your left mouse button again. The black luminance keyer is off. Click your left mouse button again. The white luminance keyer is on. Click your left mouse button again. Luminance keyer is now off. Now, take your mouse up to the 3 numbers above it. Click your left mouse button and hold it down. Now, move up and down while keeping that mouse button pressed. Notice the number change. This is the control for the intensity of the luminance.
This is the T-bar. The T-bar can be used to execute an effect manually by moving the T-bar with the mouse. Try this now with your T-bar. Press the left mouse button and pull the T-bar downward. Notice the effect on your computer monitor screen.
This is the auto button bar. The auto button allows you to do the same transition as using the T-bar, except in this instance you have the opportunity of creating the identical transition speed every time. Notice here the S, the M, and the F. Slow, medium, and fast. This will allow you to choose a slow, medium, and fast mode, transition automatically, and will be created identically every time.
This is the take button, which affects a transition known as a cut. Also, by pressing the return key on your computer keyboard, this will give you the same transition as if you were using the mouse button.
Next to it is the freeze button. By clicking the freeze button, you have an instant digitizer, which will allow you to grab incoming video. The incoming video signal will be stored as a digitized picture. It will be stored in either the DV1 or the DV2. Both frame buffers are optional depending on the usage and choice of either.
Here you have the keypad window, which allows you to control some of the toaster's functions through the numerical keypad.
Within the keypad, you have the character generator, effects button, load frame button, and save frame button.
The CG button allows you to call the CG page or pages you have made from using the CG slice section.
The effects button here allows you to activate any of the croutons or digital effects from the screen by using its numerical location. For example, let's move up to the top left-hand corner. Now let's count 4 down. Now let's go 6 across. Click your left mouse button. Now, look directly below 046 and the word vanish. Vanish is the name of this effect. 046 is its numerical location. Let's look at that again. Upper left corner, count 4 down. That is your 4. Now count 6 across. That's your 6. 46 is its location. Let's try another one. Let's go to the upper left-hand corner again. Let's count 3 down. Let's go 6 across. Let's click our left mouse button. Now let's take a look below. 036. Ping pong is the name of this effect. Let's look at that again. 3 down. 6 across. Thus, 036 is its numerical location. Now let's do another one quickly. Let's go 2 down and 6 across. Click the button. 026. And let's take one last one. First column, 6 across, 1, 6. Thus 016, and the name unsqueezed.
The load frame files are brought up as 3-digit numbers, along with a name or comment that will appear in this box if the frame was saved this way. Then the frame is loaded into one of the digital buffers, DV1 or DV2. For example, we wish to load a background which we have saved as 002. We type in 002 and background 1 is shown and ready for use at any time.
Next, we have the Save frame. This button here will allow you to save any frame or pictures that you have digitized prior in conjunction with the Freeze frame button. This section has given you a good overview of how to identify digital effects and their numeric locations, switcher overview, and slice functions. You are now ready to try your own hand at a few effects and transitions. Stay tuned for the next section.
About 1:45, everything was looking fine. I finished off the whiskey, but another bottle of wine. She got up and left, I didn't know what to do. I learned a lesson that night, stay away from the girl in blue. Yeah! There ain't no way I'm going downtown.
Welcome to Section 2, the Chroma FX section. The Chroma FX control panel appears only on the preview monitor, while the program monitor allows you to view the effect being applied to your video source.
Now click the Chroma slice to enter the FX editing menu. The first control we will take a look at is the Effects Selection Control. This part of the control panel allows you to select any one of the effects that can be applied to a video signal. This effect is located here in the top left-hand corner of the menu. By using your plus and minus keys on your numerical keypad, or click the up and down arrows as shown here to choose an effect.
Located here are the transition buttons and the palette map. To the left is the blur transition button, and to the right is the sharp transition button. Below is the posterization slider. This slider controls the amount of posterization that will appear in the palette map.
We are now looking at the palette map and its tools. The palette map displays the luminance of the current line. Here is the darkest box button, which displays the color that will be added to the very darkest parts of the picture. And to the right of the palette menu is the brightest box button.
The first palette map tool is the normal video button, which replaces the current color of the palette map. The second button is the negative video button that causes a spread from white in the darkest box to the black in the brightest box. This effect creates a negative of the incoming signal.
This is the horizontal spread button that causes a spread of color from the palette marker to the palette map depending on where you click the pointer in the palette map. Here is the horizontal spectrum button, which creates a spectrum of color from the palette marker and ending where you click the pointer in the palette map.
This is the random color button, which causes random bars of color from the palette marker and ending where you click the pointer.
This is the snow button. This button produces alternate black and white lines, which will cause the incoming video signal to appear to be losing reception. This is the Copy Color button, used to copy the current color to a new location in the palette map. And this is the Exchange Color button, used to exchange the color from the current color box with a color that you select from the palette map.
This is the RGB button. When pressed, permits the user to affect the red, green, and blue colors of the incoming video signal. The HSI lets the user affect the hue, saturation, and intensity by moving the HSI sliders.
These are the chrome and stripping buttons. This is the Leave Color button. This button causes the color in the video not to be changed. And this is the Remove Color button. This button causes the present color from the incoming video signal to be changed.
These are the effect buttons. The first is the Transition button, which allows manual control of the effect on incoming video signal. This is the Filter button that causes a filter-like effect from top to bottom to the incoming video signal.
This is the Cycle button that causes the video signal to be affected from different directions and at different speeds: slow, medium, and fast. Also down, up, bounce, or none.
This is the Color table. The only two lines that can be changed are the top and bottom palette colors. The Vertical Spread button makes a smooth spread of color from top to bottom, and the Vertical Spectrum button creates a color cycle from the top line to the bottom line.
The Shift Left button sends the top line color throughout the spread to the left. The Shift Right button sends the top line color throughout the spread to the right.
The Rotate Left button rotates the top color to the left. The Rotate Right button rotates the top color to the right.
The Posterize button only works when the color slider is set in the palette menu. The Top Line button allows you to change the top line of the color table.
The Exchange Lines button causes the top and bottom lines of the color table to change places. The Bottom Line button allows editing of the bottom color line. This is the T-bar, which allows you to manually apply the FX to the video signal.
The clapboard here has two functions. First, to render the FX, and second, to apply the video signal the same way as the auto button on your switcher screen. The Cancel button turns off the FX and returns you to the switcher screen. Note, all changes will be lost if not saved prior to using the Cancel button.
OK returns you to the switcher screen and allows the changes to remain. We will now make our own changes to the FX, then render it, and then send it to the program output over an incoming video signal. We will first view it on the preview monitor as a non-altered signal, then on the program monitor as an altered signal. Make sure you realize the clapboard sends the new FX directly to the program bus. We will now create a new FX and save it to our hard drive as a new project by randomly selecting the RGB sliders, and clicking a few of the palette map tools until we find our desired effect.
When we are finished, we click inside the comment box and give our effect a new name. Type in our new name, then press return. We then go back to our switcher screen by clicking OK. Then press our preference slice. In order to save our FX as a new project, we type in a new number from our numeric keypad. We then click on the Save Project button and we type in our new project name. Then we press Return and Enter on our keyboard.
At any time we choose to load our original project or a different project, simply press the Load button and then Enter on your keyboard. Now we will return to our FX section to render our FX and send it to an incoming video signal. Digital interface has been activated. We are now reaching frame control. Digital interface has been activated. We are now reaching frame control.
Welcome to Section 3. Here you will learn how to digitize an incoming video signal, store it, and frame motion removal.
First, make sure that the buffers DV1 and DV2 are cleared. If either buffer is occupied, the freeze button will be highlighted. If this is the case, click on the freeze button to clear the buffers.
Now we have the ability to freeze and digitize an incoming video signal. For this example, we have loaded a videotape and are sending its signal to input 1 on the back of the toaster.
Now select source 1 on the preview bus. You are able to store a frame in either the program or preview bus. However, it is a good idea to get into the habit of freezing in the preview bus, just in case you are telecasting a live show and accidentally freeze the wrong frame.
When you have the desired picture you wish to grab, click on the freeze button. Note, the frame is stored in DV1. You will see the frozen picture immediately on your preview monitor. In most cases, the picture will jitter, as shown here.
Click on the Toaster Preference slice and then click on the Motion Removal button located here. As soon as you click this button, the picture begins to flash. When the picture has finished flashing, you will see your new digitized picture, as shown here.
Now, let's save our new digitized picture for future use. Click on the Preference slice and go to the Frame Store window and click on FH1. This is where we have our hard drive loaded. Now click on the OK button to return to the switcher screen. Click on the Save Frame button located in the keypad window.
Now we will type in a number for our picture. We shall use 27. Next, move your mouse button until it is inside the comment box and click your left mouse button to make the cursor appear. Type in a name. You may type a comment up to 12 characters in length. To complete the save process, press Return on your keyboard, then press Enter in that exact order.
We have now successfully digitized and stored a freeze frame. Now let us try our hands on some digital effects and grasp an understanding of their characteristics.
We will now load the frame that was previously saved. Note, as a rule, the frame loads into the buffer that is selected on the preview bus. Unless that buffer is also selected on the program bus. Then the frame is loaded into the other buffer, DV2. If neither buffer is on the preview or program rows, or the freeze button is off, then the frame defaults to DV1.
The first step in loading a frame is to make sure you have the correct storage device selected. Click on the Preference slice. Then click on FH1, because this is where we have previously saved our picture. Now click on the OK button to return to the switcher screen. Click on the Load Frame button in the keypad window. Next, enter the number of the frame that we have stored in the hard drive. You can use the plus or minus keys on your numerical keypad or the numbers themselves. Press Enter on your keyboard to load the frame in DV1. Notice it is now on the preview bus. Click the Effects button on the keypad window.
Then choose an effect. We have selected Smooth Fade. We have decided to change the background transition. Click on the preference once again and choose the desired background. You may use any one of these colors or the snow button. We have picked the snow effect. Now press OK.
Our effect transition is now set up. The frame is loaded in DV1. We can either use the auto or T-bar in conjunction with the digital effect. However, we cannot use the take button. The take does not use the digital effect transition, instead cuts directly to the frame store page.
We have chosen the auto button. Notice the DV1 and the background switch positions. Let's take a look at some characteristics of the effects. Horizontal lines represent dissolves. Dot patterns show video noise. Thick lines show border wipes, while thin lines indicate wipes without borders. Arrows show direction. Section 4, Character Generation. In order to access the CG slice, click once to load the CG. After the CG has loaded, you may click the CG button a second time to enter the CG editing menu.
The first thing to note is that the mouse is not used in this section. Instead, you will use your computer keys. The second thing to note is that the toaster has 100 pages to work with, and that these pages are kept in a book. Books are saved as a project, and there are 20 different fonts per book. If you use up all 100 pages of the book, you can save it as a project and create a new book with 100 fresh pages.
Initially, the book starts out at page 0. We are given two choices. We can create a new page, or we can go to a previously stored page. For this example, we shall choose a previously stored page simply by pressing the F8 key, then entering the desired page number. We will render it to our preview monitor by using the F9 key. Your computer will flash a few seconds, then the F10 key will appear. By pressing the F10 key, this will send text to the program monitor.
We are currently viewing the output of the program monitor. Now let's go back to the CG menu. First, press the Alt and F8 keys together to clear the page. We will create some new text on this page. Press the F1 key. This will give us the page type options. We shall choose F3. which is the key page. The key page overlays text over the program output, which is usually live video. This is a very popular way to identify someone or something.
We will type in some text on our key page. Press the F9 render key. Then press the F10 take button. And we shall key the text over live video. Now let's use the F8 key and go to a blank page. We will enter 7. You can type any number you wish from 0 to 99. For our situation, we will use blank page number 7. Now we will create a Framestore page. To do this, we will use the F1 key to pick our page type as mentioned earlier.
The Framestore page allows you to put text or graphics on top of a color background. Framestore page can be saved in the Toaster Framestore and loaded into one of the Toaster's frame buffers. Notice here that the Framestore symbol is being displayed in the F1 key. This is inherent with any of the CG pages. As we type onto our Framestore page, we will show you a few special features of the Framestore. First of all, it is the only page that does not key over video. Shadows and borders can be any color in a Framestore page. Using the Alt and F3 keys changes the background color of the Framestore page. Also, a Framestore page can be saved in the Toaster's Framestore window, located in the Preference section. By pressing F9, we will render this page to our preview monitor. Notice, as usual, the screen flashes while it is working. By pressing F10, we will then render the Framestore page to the program monitor.
Press the F8 key to select a new page. We enter our page number, and then we press F1 to access our page type options. We have chosen F6, the crawl page. The crawl page keys a single line of moving text across the screen from right to left over the program output. This type of text is widely used for bulletins that are sent across your screen while you're watching a TV show.
Crawl pages can be as long as you have memory in your computer for. We will type in our bulletin and send it to the program output. A unique feature of the crawl page is the auto crawl. This feature moves the text that you are typing in off to the left edge of the screen, allowing you continuous typing of the page. You can scroll through the text by using your arrow keys or pressing the End key on your numeric keypad to bring you to the end of the text, or press the Home key to reach the beginning of the text. Here we have decided to change our font size by using the F2 key. Then we use our Shift and down arrow key to lower the text. If you wish to take the menu bar off, press the Help key. By pressing F9, you can control the speed of the text. Let's set it to full speed. We slow it down and press Escape, which brings us back to the switcher screen.
Press the CG button in the keypad window, then use your plus and minus keys to scroll through the text pages. Now press Enter on your numeric keypad. You will instantly see the background button flashing on the overlay bus, indicating the crawl page is ready to be keyed over the program output when you are ready. Press the Auto button, or you may use the space bar on your Amiga computer. Press F8 to select a new page. Enter your page number. Press F1 to choose a page type. Press F5 to enter the scroll page. Before typing our text, let's look at some fonts that are available. Press Alt F2 to select and load additional fonts into our current book. These are the fonts in our current book, and these are the fonts that are available. The reason why all fonts are not loaded into the book is that the toaster saves memory that may be needed for additional functions. Let's load a couple fonts into our current book. Press F1 key to add the font to the current book. Instantly, the font appears in your current book.
Also, you may delete a font from the current book. Use your right arrow key to send the highlight bar into the current book menu. Notice the plus sign changes to a minus sign on the F1 key. Then use your arrow keys to scroll the highlight bar on top of the font you wish to delete, then press F1. Press Escape to get back to the scroll editing menu. Now let's make our text blue. Press the F3 key. This will take us to the palette menu. The palette menu changes a single line of text at a time. Borders are allowed, but always black. Press F2 to cycle through the color mode, and by using your arrow keys, you can change the colors. Return updates the line, Escape preserves the line. Press F7 to place a graphic separator underneath the line of text. It comes in 4 different sizes. By pressing Shift F7, it allows us to insert a blank line between our text and our graphic separator. To complete this example, let's type a third line. Press the down arrow key or the return key to move the cursor to the desired position.
Since we have already loaded our desired fonts in our current book, we will press F2 to choose a different size font. We will choose Common Thick 36 and then render it to video by pressing F10. Now let's press the Escape key on your computer keyboard to take us back to the switcher screen, and we will save the entire book and all the pages we have created as a project for later use. We will save this project on our hard drive. Press the Preference Slice button and click on the Save Project button.
Now we will enter 555. We then click in the comment window and type a name for our project. Press the Return key and then press the Enter key when you have finished. Press OK and go back to the switcher screen. Now press the CG button in the keypad window. Either scroll through the numbers or type the number in from your numeric keypad in order to call up a specific page from your book. If you desire to load a different page from a different project that you have already saved, simply press the Preference button on.
Then press the Load Project button. You can either scroll through the numbers with your plus or minus keys, or type in the number of the desired project. Then press the Enter key to load the project you have just chosen. You should now be familiar with the following and have the ability to create your own CG pages. Welcome to Section 5, Toaster Paint. Click on the Paint slice once to load the program, then a second time to enter the Paint section. The Toaster Paint control panel appears only on the preview monitor, while the program monitor is utilized for the completed work.
Note: 7 megabytes of RAM is recommended for this section. If you have less, you will not be able to access the swap screen. Your preview monitor will now display the paint control panel. It will also display the black area that we will paint on, referred to as a canvas. The program will automatically default to 2 times magnification on the preview monitor, allowing you to do detailed artwork.
Within the Paint control panel, there is a toolbox. The toolbox has 4 sections. The first is the Tool section, containing brushes and tools for painting on the canvas. This section is the Transparency and Warping section, which allows you to texture map, warp images, and even resize them.
The third section is the Text Rendering section, which allows you to create text and load fonts. The fourth section is the Palette menu that allows you access to the color palette which holds 4,096 colors at one time out of a possible 16.8 million colors.
By the end of this section, you will be able to make every item on the screen individually and put them all together as a completed project. You will then be able to incorporate these steps and methods into your projects immediately. The first thing we will do is make some picture frames. In order to do this, we would like a spread range on the color. First, click over here to the range selector. We will click the top color spread button and choose a color. Now we click the back color spread button and choose our color for the back color range. Notice the spread goes all the way through. Changing either color can be done by re-clicking the spread button and picking a new color. We pick a box and go up here.
Click on our left mouse button and drag out a shape. Release the button and we have our first picture frame. Now we will take the same toolbox and drag out another shape. We will use the polygon tool to create our own type of shape. We click at our first point and pull the mouse down to where we feel is a comfortable spot. Then click the left mouse button and move to the next spot. Click it again and notice the shape begins to blink. Waiting for you to click your right mouse button. This will release it and let it draw.
We now have our frames. Click your right mouse button and go into the picture menu. Swap and copy this picture to make another page. After we copy the picture, go back into the picture menu. We will load our freeze frame, the windsurfer, from an earlier section. Click twice on it. The windsurfer is now being laid on top of this page, and we have our picture frame stored in the other page. You see the windsurfer frame being drawn. And we can scroll down and take a look. You see the windsurfer scrolling beyond the page.
Our paint dot reappears, signifying that the freeze frame is fully loaded. Click on the right mouse button to call our toolbox back onto the screen. We will use a thin point tool and cut out a square, get the scissors, and make a brush. Hold your left mouse button down and drag it over the area desired. When finished, release the left mouse button and it will cut out the tool for you. We now have our new brush. Click your right mouse button again to call back the toolbox.
Go to the brush menu, click on the swap section and go to copy this brush. We copied this brush in order to turn it into a texture map tool. Now click back into the mode section and find the texture map, TX. map. Let it go. Now we have a texture map tool. Our brush is inside this little dot right here. Now we will go back to the picture menu to swap and exchange the pictures. We now have exchanged the pictures, and remember, our texture map tool is loaded in our paint dot.
We click on solid because we want solid. So when we drag out our texture map brush, it will fill the entire frame. Otherwise, it would be just like our picture frame. We click it and then we let it go. When it is finished being drawn, we will render it to the program monitor by clicking the clapboard to see how the picture is looking.
We will now texture map our second picture frame simply by dragging the left mouse button across the desired area and then releasing it. Then we will proceed to fill the polygon picture frame. The first thing we do is click our right mouse button to bring up the toolbox again, and then click on the polygon tool and proceed to click on the points with the left mouse button. And when finished, click the right mouse button Now press the clapboard to render the picture to the program monitor.
We will now show you how to add picture tiles from our texture map by using the transparency and warping section. First thing we need to do is go back to our freeze frame picture and exchange pictures. Once the pictures are swapped, we click on our scissors and cut out the area we wish to make tiles out of. When we have our brush, we click into the brush section and copy this brush. Then we click on our transparency and warping section and go to the tiles. We will make 4 down and 3 across. Click your right mouse button to go to the picture menu and exchange your pictures. We click on our square tool and then close our box.
Now drag the left mouse button across the desired area, releasing it, and now you can see the tiles. Four down and 3 across. Click your right mouse button and exchange the pictures from the picture swap section. Click on our round tool, then we will turn our texture mapping tool off by clicking on the range selector, by substituting it for the texture map tools, because we wish to paint with our color range this time.
Otherwise, the texture map tool would have filled the circle. Now we will move the hotspot indicator all the way to the bottom left and drag out a new circle. Notice the new position of the hotspot. We will now move it all the way up to the right and press the redo button. Notice the new location of the hotspot. This is one of the unique features of using the redo button. We will pull down the right slider, which will create a transparency effect along the edges of our circle. By moving it halfway, notice the difference between the two pictures.
Now we will go back to the picture menu and exchange pictures and add it to our collection. First, we will move the slider down to give it 90% transparency. And then drag our mouse button across the new area. Notice the picture underneath shows through the edges due to the transparency factor.
We will now add a white hotspot to our pictures. First, we turn off the range tool by clicking on it, then click on our hotspot color and drag out the desired size. Now let's render our project to the program monitor by pressing our clapboard.
We will now exchange pictures from the picture menu. Then click on the tools and make a round brush. Go back into the brush menu and copy the brush. Note, in order to use the texture map section, you need to make a brush first.
Now, click on the texture map section and turn on the texture map. Then press the Extreme Warp button located to the right of the tiles. Then exchange the pictures. Now, click the Paint section and click on the Polygon tool. We will now create a warp type effect by using these combined tools.
Notice by using the warp button in the transparency and warping section, the picture created has its own unique effect. Now click back into our transparency and warping section and click on our warp direction control, which will warp the picture horizontally and vertically. We will also change the tiles to 3x2.
Now click on the Paint section and pick the round tool to draw out the new warp section. Click the mouse button twice, once to get the toolbox to appear and once more to take us back to the picture section. Click on the Save Frame. First thing to do is find a number that is not being used and type it in. Then click in the window and type the name of your picture. Now press the Save Frame button when finished. The frame will have been saved and also automatically rendered to the program monitor.
We now wish to add text to our picture. First thing we do is exchange pictures. If our work screen has become cluttered, we can easily clear it by going to the picture section. Notice that whatever color is currently on the brush palette will default as the new cleared picture canvas color. You can easily change the background to any color by clicking on the color first and then clearing your canvas.
We will now type in some text. Click on the text section here and choose our font. This can be done by clicking on the font selector pictured as a disk. Then click on the desired font. The font name appears in the top left window. Then pick the size of the font. When finished, click the Open Font button. We now pick a color for our font. Notice the new color appears in our color bar. Next, click in the font window and type in text. When finished, press Return.
Now let's exchange pictures and place our text. Click the left mouse button to stamp the font down. Then exchange the pictures again. Let's get a new font. This time we will use a second-party font. Click on the New Fonts directory, then click on Fonts to show the fonts listed within its disk. Choose a font, then pick the size of the font and press Open Font.
Now pick the font's color. We will use the color spread for this font. And then click in the window and type in the text.
Press Return when finished and the font will render. And then exchange pictures and place our new font to the desired position by stamping it down with the left mouse button. Press the clapboard and render the project to our program monitor. Welcome to Section 6, 3D. When entering the 3D section, press the Slice button twice, once to load the program and a second time to enter the 3D section.
For our first project, we'll load in an object and show you how to change its color. We click on Load Object and click on Apple from the phone book object list located here. Notice the object is being loaded here. Once a project has been loaded, it can easily be rendered. Press Render, then choose the Frame Advanced type. Manual is used for current rendering and automatic for GPI triggers.
The object will first appear on your preview monitor and begin rendering. appear on your program monitor in color. Notice the edges are jagged. This is because it was rendered in the low-res mode. When you have finished making any changes to the object, it is best to render the object by combining normal render, anti-alias, and overscan together.
We will now change the color of the apple by clicking on the Surfaces button. This opens up the color screen. Notice apple leaf is listed as the current color surface to change. Click on the Surface Color button and change the color. We will use our sliders, then press OK when finished. Click the current surface arrow to call up the next part of the object. Then press Surface Color to change the color of the apple stem. Finally, click on the next item part and change its color. Now, let's render the object to see the changes.
Press Escape to call back the menu after rendering an object. To make a background for an object, select the Backdrop button. The first thing we want to do is color the zenith area. Move the sliders with your left mouse button. Then press OK. Then change the sky color. Press OK. Change the ground color. Press OK. And now the nadir color. And then press OK. When using a colored background, make sure to turn the Zenith Only button off. The Zenith automatically defaults to the on position, but is only used for a single color background. Now render the object.
Notice the picture is jittery due to being rendered in the quick render mode. This is usually done to view work that may not be finished yet. This is done in order to save time. We are now listing the general locations of the color areas that we have recreated. We will now show you how to change the rendering mode and remove the jagged edges. The first thing to do is to click on the camera button listed or the area different types of resolutions. The object was rendered in low res. We will now use overscan, anti-alias, and normal mode to give us a high resolution factor. Now we will render the object to see the difference.
For our next project, we will show you how to load lights to an object. We begin by clicking the Scene button and then pressing Clear Scene, which will clear the object and any other changes made, returning the 3D section to its original settings.
We will load a new object. When the object is loaded, press Render. Click OK for the manual frame advance. We will now add light in different colors to the hat and alter the hat in the layout section. Click on the light button. Notice in the light section, one light is specified. It is a distant light. Click on Add Light. Now there are two lights specified. We're going to make this a spotlight and change the second light's color. Click the Add Light button and the third light appears. We make this a point light and then change its color. Click the Add Light button for our fourth light, press the Color button and change its color. We'll now position our lights in the Layout section by clicking the Layout button.
The Layout section allows you to position and move objects. By clicking in the View mode, you are able to view the object at different angles. We begin by using the perspective view. Next, choose an object. We will edit the object first. Click the Move button. Use your mouse button to move the object front to back and up and down. Click the Rotate button. Use your left mouse button to tilt the object up and down, and use the right mouse button to angle the object on its side.
The next thing we will do is click on the Visibility button. Here we will click on all the items we want displayed in the scene layout. When finished, we will click the camera in the Edit Items section and also click on the camera view. Then use the mouse to position the camera angle. Click the left mouse button to dolly the camera to and from the object. Click the Rotate button to angle the camera in conjunction with your right mouse button. We'll click on the Perspective view to see how the scene looks in this mode.
We will now place the lights by clicking the Light button. Notice the first light appears in the item selector. By clicking the up and down arrows, we can choose which light to edit. We begin by using light 1, which is highlighted. Click the Move button and then use your mouse button to position the light in the layout. Press the item selector to call up the second light. Position the second light by using the left and right mouse buttons. The same steps can be followed to position any additional lights.
When everything has been positioned in the layout, it is best to check the different views to make sure we have positioned the lights correctly. Here we notice the camera needs to be moved. Using our mouse button, we reposition the camera. By clicking the ZY mode, we notice one of the lights has not been placed properly. Click the light button. The wrong light is highlighted. Simply click the item selector to call up the correct light, then use your mouse button and reposition the light. By clicking the perspective and camera view, we can check the light's position even further.
We are now ready to create a key. We will use the perspective mode for this example. By creating a key, the current position is set to memory. Click on Object, then click Create Key. Notice baseball cap is selected. We're asked to create a key at frame 0. Click OK. Next, click the Light button and create a key for each light by using the item selector. We click Create Key for the first light, then press OK to create key at frame 0.
Select the second light from the item selector, then press Create Key and create its key. This process will be done for every light so that the computer keeps its position in memory. When we have finished, we click on the camera button to lock the camera's position and create a key for it. Remember, you must create a key for every item in the layout. Now we exit the layout and then press Render to see the light's effects on the baseball cap.
For our last project, we will load an object and animate it. We begin by clearing any objects currently loaded. Then press Load Object and click on a new object. And press OK. When the object has finished loading, click the Layout button.
We begin by using the camera view. Then we click the Object button in the Edit Items section. Next, we click the Move button and use our left mouse key to move the object into the distance. Then we use our right mouse button and raise the object upward. Now that we have our first position, we press Create Key to lock it into the memory. Our first position is at frame 0. Next, we use our right mouse button and move the object downward. Then we create a key for the next position. Since we have a key at frame 0, we will type in 5 and create our second key at frame 5.
Move the plane to our third position and create its key at frame 10. Repeat the move and create procedure until you have the desired animation. Remember, create a key for every move. Always add the new frame number for the new position. Now we create a key for our final frame position.
We now click the Make Preview button. The computer begins making the frames for the animation. Now click Play Preview. You're giving the options of playback, such as forward, reverse, and single step. Click the forward button and the animation plays 30 frames per second. Now try the 15 frames per second button. Or even single frame step by clicking your mouse button here. When finished, click End Playback and exit the layout.
We will now save the scene. Click the Scene button and then press the Save Scene button. Type in a name for the scene and then press OK when finished. The methods in these projects are not the only way to achieve animation results. You may find alternate methods by using this section and create your own style of animation.
In order to render the animation to tape, you will need to use a single frame animation controller. However, stay tuned for our Tricks and Tips section. We'll show you how to do simple animation work without a frame controller.
Our first tip, how to use the toaster without a TBC by using MX10 or MX12. The unit's frame synchronizer will substitute as a TBC. First, hook up a video signal into input 1 of the unit. Next, hook up the output of the unit into the input 1 of the toaster. By following these instructions, you will be able to use the combined units as if you had a single frame TBC.
We're at a mobile production site using a video toaster to run the entire production.
In mobile production applications, the toaster can be used to run the entire camera setup. This can be done by hooking up camera 1's output to the input of the distribution amplifier. The second step is to hook up the output of the distribution amplifier into input 1 of the toaster. The third step is to connect the remaining outputs of the distribution amplifier to inputs of the remaining cameras. Finally, hook up each of the camera's outputs to one of the remaining inputs of the toaster. The thing to note when doing a mobile production application is to use camera cables of the same length. This is done to avoid phasing problems such as subcarrier phase shifting.
You can use a toaster as a gen lock. First, in order to output a program such as DPaint 3, you must set up the program monitor to select the input source. Then click the preference slice, exit the toaster, and click Yes to shut down the toaster. You will now be able to load your program and output it to videotape.
First thing to do when deleting a frame is to click on the Save Frame button and then scroll through the comment box by using your numeric keypad or entering the number of the frame to be deleted. Next, press the Alt and Enter key on your keyboard. A requester will appear asking if you wish to delete the frame. Click Yes, and the frame is now deleted from the comment box and memory.
In this section, we will show you a trick which will allow you to do simple animation without a frame controller. This can be achieved by the following. First, clear your buffers. Click the Freeze button to clear your buffers. Next, click on the 3D slice. When you enter the 3D section, load an object and render it, just as taught in Section 6. When this is completed, click on the Enter Switcher button located in the 3D section, not the Quit Lightwave button. When you return back to the switcher, your object will be loaded automatically into the digital buffer.
Now we will manipulate the object to produce a simple type animation effect. First, click on one of the program inputs so that the object in the preview buffer can be keyed over it. By using the digital effects, we will be able to create the object's movement. In this example, we will fly an object in and out over an incoming video signal from input 1. We will now show you how to get rid of the black surrounding area of the object by using our luminance keyer. The luminance keyer can cut out the black or white of a picture. Let's see how this actually affects the object.
We are using our mouse and gliding it over the luminance keyer to cut out the amount desired. Now we will fly the object by pressing the Auto button. The following were used to create the effect. We have overlaid the object onto the video signal of program 1. The luminance keyer to cut the blackout. The digital effects to fly it off and on the screen. And the auto button for movement. The key bar can be used manually to control the object also.
Momo-san, we look for the Red Rooster once again. Take us to War Factor 71. Oh, that's not a Red Rooster. Oh, let me take a closer look. Oh, I think he sees us. No, that looks like a chicken. Ah, no, that's a catty cat. Let's go. Okay. Momo-san, we need to go to the next warp. Oh yeah, get a little zap there. Oh. How about a little magnetic field for your camera? Oh yeah. See if you'll remember this tomorrow. Oh, Momo-san, let's go, Momo-san. Okay. Space Boogie. Don't worry, he had zero memory factor.